make the note, no, see, so I won't have to say it in the meeting. Just send the other two select board members the legal analysis you got from Liz.
You'd like me to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just send it to them so that they can read what she's recommended, but I'm not gonna bring that up in the meeting.
Send it right now.
Steve, why would it not show the video when we just have the video up?
You're on YouTube right now, right?
I went from Zoom
So
to
go down to the Zoom.
down here.
Nope. To the left, that little button there.
Yeah.
Bring that up. Nope, the other Zoom with the green, black screen. Go back down to the Zoom button that you
Yeah.
were just on, and then click on the Zoom meeting, and then press
Oh,
video.
there it is. I'm like, what? It doesn't have it up. Give me 1 second, Rich.
Yes,
Make sure it goes live.
it's okay. Live in living color. What am I looking for here? That's what I'm looking for. We good?
I think so.
All right. Thank you, Kristen. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, 5 November 2025, and this is a regular meeting of the Waterville Valley Select Board. I am the chair, Rich Rita, and with me here today is Wendy Ratzinger, Vice Chair, and Dan Bancroft, Select Board Member. So we have a quorum. We're going to change things up a little bit for this particular meeting. We're going to start with a non-public session. So I would entertain a motion to go into non-public for a legal matter.
So moved.
A second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Let us know when we are no longer broadcasting. Full stop.
And apologies again for my complete flaking online.
It's only our time. We told in the notice, we said we wouldn't have our public session at 3 o'clock. So it's fine. I don't think we'll necessarily need all Massive. All righty. Very good. The board has come out of non-public and we will continue our meeting, our regular meeting of 5 November 2025. First agenda item is privilege of the floor. I see a couple people here. Is there something you'd like to bring to the board's attention? Please come to the board, come up and none, just here to listen. All righty.
Yeah. Civics Infrastructure District project.
Okay, great. Glad to have you here. Let's move on to minutes. I didn't see any minutes, right?
No,
We don't
there
have
were-
any minutes?
We,
Okay, I just
Not
want to make
yet.
sure I didn't miss it.
yeah,
Not
we're
yet?
gonna
All
have
right.
to table them. Yeah, we're working through the process.
Okay.
We'll get there.
No problem. All right, so we'll defer all the minutes until next meeting or later. New business. Intermunicipal agreement on a municipal prosecutor. I think this was something we signed for the first time last year, was it? Steve? Or the year before that? The year before that?
Yeah, year before that.
Right, where we and other towns contract to have one, is it Campton's?
Yes.
I don't, for the viewing audience, do you want to say anything about it, particularly?
No, we're just part of a regional prosecutor. We pay a portion to Hampton to employ the prosecutor that handles most of the any of the misdemeanor cases in district court. And some of the violations that may go to trial. Stuff beyond just your normal traffic violations, stuff that eventually could carry jail time, essentially. The PWI trials and assaults and those types of.
And this frees up DPS, Waterloo Valley DPS, from having to deal with this or having to hire or find their own
Correct.
prosecutor, since we really don't have one anymore, right? We used to use
No, Katsarivas.
Katsarivas, thank you. Right. Right,
So he was our prosecutor.
Right. right. So I think it's runs April to April, 1 April to 1 April, and the total cost of the town of Waterloo Valley is $5,000, I believe. Do I have that right? Oh, no, I'm sorry, 10,000, 10,000.
I believe it's 10.
Right, four payments of 2,500.
Yeah.
And I assume, since it's on the agenda, that you guys think it's very well worth it.
It's actually for that price, that's actually a very reasonable price for, what they offer. And it's not only just the courtroom work, but it's all the pretrial stuff that comes in, the discovery, a lot of the other heavy lifting that happens during that time.
Very
So,
good.
it allows us to refer defense attorneys and to our prosecutor for this stuff, and we're not using staff work to do all that research and provide
Right.
all the information. So,
Any board questions?
Yeah, I think I read it. I think our portion of the cost is relatively low comparatively to some of the other
Yeah, the other
towns
towns
that
involved.
are participating in this. And I'm mentioning that because we have people online and who will listen to this. I think this is actually a pretty good deal for the town.
It is,
Um,
and it is based off of our number of cases too, so.
Yeah, right.
So we're not producing a large amount of cases that
Good.
need trials.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
reflected in the rate.
And it's regional, so we're talking Woodstock, Lincoln, Campton, Waterloo Valley, and Holderness.
Yeah.
And our rate is the lowest of these,
Well, I think Holderness is.
Is Holderness lower?
Lower.
no,
pretty
they're at
close.
19.5,
They're
we're
about
at 10.
15 or 19.
They're at 19,
Oh,
they make,
yeah.
yeah,
But
they have
it's-
one payment of, actually, they have
Yeah.
2 payments.
I think,
And ultimately, you're happy, you
Yeah.
get enough, you're able to use the resource adequately, like you're not
Oh, yeah.
scrambling because a prosecutor's busy
Yeah,
with other
very much.
towns'
No,
needs that you have to
uh,
find.
You
They're
know,
behind.
caseload, when I first started, we were part of the Plymouth
do
Regional
it different?
Prosecutors Association, and it was about 24 towns.
Well, they have two.
Wow.
And there was a
38.
full-time
Almost
prosecutor
4 times, yeah.
located at the court.
Yeah.
And that was too much, and we were paying almost 29, I think our last bill was $29,000 a year.
Okay,
That was back in 2003.
wow, okay.
So,
This is a good deal.
this is.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, as long as you're not being like shifted to
No.
the back of the
uh,
line all the
and
time.
Because we had so few cases, we're able to work in, and they have selectively chosen these few towns to represent to,
Mhm.
one, not overwhelm the prosecutor, but two, still have a full plate to, that there's a, certainly enough work to go around.
Okay,
I've been in the situation where we had a prosecutor that was overworked and our cases were not getting the attention that they needed.
mhm.
This isn't the case.
Okay.
Great. So I think within, you have something else? Dave?
No, I think we just need to make a motion to
Yep.
accept this.
Yep, no, that's what I was going to request. Does somebody want to make a motion?
I will make a motion to accept the intermunicipal agreement for regional municipal prosecutor for a water bill cost of $10,000 for the coming year. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
And 4 monthly payments, right?
And
Or not
4
monthly, 4,
Or-
on the schedule.
$2,500.
Right. Our next payment isn't until 2026, so this is really for,
Yeah, it's right after.
it's really for the year 2026. We're covered until 2025.
Yep.
Okay, did you second that, Wendy?
I
I'm
did.
sorry. All right,
did.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so when you get it printed up, I guess we get to sign it.
Oh,
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Just for a state, just for a little historical perspective, when we got John Katsouris to come work here, he had, he wanted to go to law school. And so the reason why we helped send him to law school is because law school was about $12,000 a year for 4 years.
Ah. Okay.
So it was a basic math problem. We
Yeah.
were saving,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
$15,000
Sure.
just by having him.
Oh, got it.
I took
People
back
thought it
one.
was crazy.
Okay.
You sent him to law school? Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It was a top thing.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
and when I talked to, other departments and colleagues, they're like, "You crazy?" I said, no, just do the math.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
This is. I think that shows here, right? Dan sign. So you look at that. All right. Next up is a new business is Village Condo Lease Agreement. So the town is looking for a 6-month rental. And we have, I think, one in front of us. The rental is for town staff to use as we work through finding a new town manager. Our interim town manager would like the opportunity, and I think correctly so, to be able to stay later in town. Right, since he lives well over an hour away, and this is one way to give him an opportunity, he and his family, his daughter who goes to our school, the ability to not to have to rush out of here at a quarter to 3. Or have his daughter sitting around till he's done with business.
And especially as we enter the winter months. for
And to the
safety.
winter months, hanging out on town square. Well, that wasn't advantageous to her anyway, I think,
She had a
a
little
couple of weeks
accident.
ago.
Yep.
Oh,
But it gives the town a possibility, when we start interviewing people for town manager, the place to put them up if they come and we do a personal interview, which is also a possibility. So it looks like it's a standard contract. I think we worked through, was it Waterville Realty to help us find,
Village condo directly with Leslie.
we went to those right.
So she had some new property owners come to her about a month and a half ago or so, express some interest in renting the unit for the 6 months. November 1 till I
The
believe-
standard, so this is the standard
Yeah.
6-month rent, seasonal rental we see here in Waterville Valley for $10,000,
Yep,
2-bedroom.
10,000 with a $2,000 security deposit.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah,
Payments to be made, one in $5,000 increments up front and another by January 1, $5,000.
very good. Anyone on the board have any questions about this?
No, I don't.
All right,
I would like to make a motion that we sign the lease agreement for unit C17 in Village Condominium, Waterville Valley, New Hampshire. For the cost of $10,000 to be paid in two $5,000 payments, together with an additional $2,000 as a security deposit. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it. All in favor?
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so go ahead and. Can you execute the contract as town manager? Great,
Yep.
all right.
your name is spelled wrong, Steve.
Oh.
Yeah,
I left off the
all right.
I can have that updated.
Just
Let's fix
type
it.
it in.
Yeah,
Write it in. All right. The next item of new business is a draft Tyrell warrant article regarding air rights over town property. Specifically, there are two roads that a gondola line would run over. Right now, that'd be Village and Snow's Brook. So I think we just received this just a couple days ago, and I think I'd like the board to Tuesday, yesterday then. So I think I like
October 28th, I'm sorry, so a week ago, yes.
oh, okay, so it's the first time the board saw it, I think was in the packet
Yes.
that we received a couple days ago. That's probably was going on in my memory. So I think I'd like the board to review it. I think also to discuss it at some point with town council, which we do with all warrant articles
Mhm.
for proper and legal formatting and et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to note it at this time that we have it and that we will be reviewing it and deciding what we want to do. Anyone have any further comments?
No.
On the matter?
None at this point, thank you.
Very good. Okay. Let's move to all of our old business. So was the chair of the search committee, Margaret, going to stop by today, Steve?
She was hoping to around 4.
All right, well, I'm going to put off that issue, see if she that's about 40 minutes away, so let's just pass on that for the moment. The next one is a 2026 transit agreement review. I think we're still not ready to execute that agreement. If we decide to do that, I think we just have it on here mostly as a tickler.
Sure.
We do have until the 15th of December to make a decision on the matter. So let's just go ahead and leave it as a tickler unless anybody on the board would like to discuss it further at this time.
Mhm.
Nope. Okay.
I'll plan to roll it to the 19th.
Yeah, just keep on rolling it until we get around to doing it.
I will make
Hmm?
one comment
Yeah.
on that topic. I was speaking with Craig at the golf course.
Mhm.
And he mentioned that there isn't a bus stop where they drop people.
That's been an
over
ongoing
at his
issue.
place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every year. he brings
And
that up.
We have had parking issues, we know, because,
Mhm.
we get too many of the hockey folks going over there and so forth. So it would help if we could end up with a bus stop over there to at least take people over
Right.
there during the operating hours during the day when they're running these
So
buses.
this has been an ongoing concern of Craig. He's brought it to the board and
Yeah,
several years.
yeah,
And we've gone to the ski resort, who is the other party, and the
Mhm.
resort association on the matter. And we strongly recommended they put a bus stop in there. We support
As has
Craig.
the Resort Association in the past.
Right,
right.
and therefore we've made our position plain, but the power is in the hands of the as the agreement is currently written, the power is in the hands of the ski resort. So unless
I
we change the
understand that.
agreement,
I may not be willing to sign it without it.
Okay.
so
fair enough.
Just make that be noted to everybody.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No,
On the
thank you.
agreement?
Mm.
Okay. let's move on to the wastewater treatment facility update. Again, this is basically our particular. There are always these 4 items on there: legal, engineering, funding, strategic communication. So good afternoon, Dylan. You can attack these in any order you'd like.
So I'll start with engineering, because we have quite a few items. Received the 90% basis of plan report. Was it the end of last week, Friday, I believe?
Friday.
Friday.
Just under the deadline when they said they would
Yeah.
get it. Great.
And we have a meeting on this upcoming Friday at 9:30 to review that
Great.
with Black and Veatch.
Great.
Aside from that, subsurface work at the base lodge is scheduled to begin on November 11th. So I believe
Great.
it's Veterans Day, actually.
Great.
But that's been coordinated with Tim. He's giving us the go ahead. Aside from that, Black and Veatch did provide us with their response to EPA regarding their schedule. For the requested schedule.
To shorten the period by 6 months that
Yes.
we'd have to meet by which we'd have to meet the ammonia
In reality, it was actually like 9 months, but and it actually ends up becoming like a year and a half.
because of the season, the construction season and all that stuff, right?
So Black and Veatch did provide that to town staff and council. Council hasn't responded to that yet. I believe Jim is out of the office the past couple of days.
And they're gonna present it to EPA.
Right, I was going, at this point, I was going to see if you would like to review it as well, since technically, okay, fair enough.
I don't. Do you guys wanna?
I mean, I trust that they have it
Yeah.
responsible in hand.
They did it really, what they did more or less is they did a comparison to other projects that are of similar magnitude that they're working on throughout the company, Black and Veatch.
You're satisfied with their
Absolutely.
rationale?
Yeah.
And I think, I'm gathering from this, you don't think that EPA is going to be particularly upset about this,
Right.
but they will consider the response. And this is a request this is gonna play into our request for an AOC, right?
I think that at the end of the day, with what EPA requested would have just been icing on the cake for them to be able to say, we have a compliance schedule with them and they're going to meet this date as of the, beginning of the turn of the decade, if you will. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal.
Right, we're talking 2030 versus with
31.
spring of 2030 versus, right?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Right.
In reality, it's really not going to make any difference in the grand scheme of things, at least in
Okay,
my opinion.
all right, well, let's see what EPA says, but we still are absolutely pushing that AOC.
Definitely. Steve and I had a discussion with Black and Veatch regarding project management. They're going to be getting a more in-depth model to us to review. I believe next week or the week after.
What do you mean a model? Sorry.
So Mark and I met with we met with our project director and senior Black and Veatch management 9 months ago.
Mhm.
But at that point in time, what we had discussed was not really a project manager, but there was a few different variations we discussed. One of which was resources they could provide us to aid us in project management
Okay.
until we got to the construction phase. Then, kind of be like a hybrid model where then we would have somebody come on board as a project manager through construction. There was another alternative to that, which was more or less, we would have somebody, but they would only be able to dedicate, a certain amount of hours per week up until construction. Then the third option was having a full-blown project manager that would be in depth, submerged into this project, and know the ins and outs of it. So
Okay.
Steve and I, in our discussion with Black and Veatch, said that's exactly what we're looking for at this point. The board of selectmen is in full support that we need to have a project manager.
Mhm.
Yes.
So they're aware of that. He just asked for some additional time, because that was a little bit different than how we left it with them 9 months ago. To be fair, Steve and I had conversations in the previous month or so with them saying we want project management. But this was more so a direct,
A strong request.
yeah, I'm saying we want a physical.
Right, we need to move
person
on.
dedicated to this,
Right.
Right. And, I clarify with them that includes having somebody here during construction. This isn't gonna be, we don't wanna have a person that's a project manager from this phase to this phase, and then have to have somebody brand new that isn't really up
Yeah.
to speed on the project the phase after. We wanna have somebody has the
Right.
capacity to see this through.
Well, certainly now that we have the BODR
Correct.
in hand. This is the time, that's such a critical report is what we're gonna do from here. This is certainly, well, it's past time, but certainly by now,
Yes,
we do need to get one.
agreed.
Yeah.
And is getting one through Black and Beach really the best way forward? Should we be searching elsewhere for a project manager?
So the way that it was proposed to us, because they're such a large company, that there wouldn't be any real involvement with our project manager and the Boston branch. So this project manager, this may be a project manager that is able to do a lot of the work remotely up until we get to construction phase. They
Okay,
can be here for meetings, they can be here for whatever we need them for. If we need them to be here in person, they can do that. But what that does is it more or less, it acts like, I'm trying to think here of a better way to describe it. Their loyalty isn't to the Boston branch, their loyalty is to the company, therefore success of the project. So it's not like they're gonna be covering up or, you know, trying to hide anything that the Boston branch may be messing up.
okay,
They're going to make sure that the project is executed properly, because that's gonna be what the contract that we sign with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indicates. Because we, you know, we recognize the last thing we want to have is something that appears to be the fox watching the hen.
Right,
exactly.
a conflict of
Yes.
interest, and we had,
Yes.
I think we had discussed this a while back, and again, we're a little bit hostage to events here because it's impossible to find a project manager.
Right.
And that's why we turned to them.
To add to that, Steve and I have had some previous conversations with other candidates that
Mhm.
are project
Yep.
managers, and their response has always been, you're basically looking for someone wearing a cape.
Yeah, well,
It's like, yeah, we,
well, we already have one of those, Dylan.
but it's one of those things, though, that it's a very unique circumstance where we're looking for
Right.
someone that can manage it, and the only way that I can see that you kind of get all the above is to have somebody that has all these resources
Right,
at hand, you know, with a company of that size.
Okay.
So it, you know, the other thing it does is it gives us some security with, whereas if, let's say this person, something happens to them.
Continuity.
We have continuity.
sure,
So you know, it's not necessarily just a contract with one person that could walk away at any time.
right,
Sure,
So,
sure. Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
very good. No, it's thankfully, you know, you've been handling this job as the project manager, but that's well beyond, I think, not your capabilities, but you have other duties as the director of the water, municipal services, water and wastewater, and there are issues there you need to concentrate on a regular basis. You don't have the largest staff, so it's been lucky and that you've been here to help the town as in effect the de facto project manager, but it's time to find a project manager.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. But I agree entirely. Yeah, bringing somebody in at this point, like you said, Rich, it's gonna be really, it's only gonna help make sure that the project is as successful as we can hope for.
Right,
So,
and I'm not worried about the hen in the fox in the
Fox in the hen house.
hen house, because I think we have Dylan to keep an eye on
Right,
that fox if there were one to be there.
yeah.
The wolf.
Yeah.
And the way, you know, Black and Beach is, the way at least I view them, they're a company that their reputation is more important to them than anything else. The
Of
last
course.
thing that they want to have is, you know, a client, because as we're all aware, you know, once we originally got Black and Beach on board, they really haven't done a lot of work in New Hampshire. But they picked up a lot of work in New Hampshire now that they, you know, now that the name is, you know, spread across New Hampshire. They're
Right.
doing work in North Conway, they're doing work in southern New Hampshire, so they're, you know, the last thing they want to have is a new market that they have a bad name.
Right,
So,
of course. Right.
aside from that, additionally, I should say rather, we did get an RFP proposal submitted to us by Black and Beach for value engineering services.
Right,
So they drafted it for us. I want to talk to Mario on Friday about it. Because
Okay.
there's some things that I just want to better understand that are a little bit unique, but it may not be unique. It's just, I haven't seen this in it. We don't often do value engineering.
Mhm.
no, we
Can
try
you
to
send
avoid
that
it,
to us
actually.
So that we can see that. I'd like to see that.
I mean, we try to avoid that. But because of the cost of this project,
It's really
again,
the scale.
yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
it's the scale of the
Yeah.
value engineering is why I think there's just. some
it's so
unique
large, yeah,
Yeah.
or wide, whatever way you want to put it.
Absolutely.
An example of that is they're requesting use of our conference room space for a period of 4 days. to conduct their work out of, so.
Yeah, no, we've done that sort of thing in the past,
Yeah.
but not for this project, right?
And I just want to understand if that is a, you know, if it's a holdup, find somebody if we don't provide that
Hmm.
type of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So on Friday, we'll be able to
Absolutely.
bring disclosure, okay.
And really that was it. The only other, regarding the funding update, I have an email out to Ben Kappenstein. He is one of the people we're working with from PFM. I haven't heard back from him yet regarding a deliverable date, but we are on, you know, anywhere from this week till next week is when we're anticipating their submittal anyway.
Right.
I just was hoping to have an update for the board for this meeting, but I haven't heard back yet.
Right.
And really, strategic communications, I don't have any update for you there. There's been a little bit of communication.
Right,
It's kind of just been us trying to get a meeting date that works for 4 of us, and it just hasn't jived.
right. Well, it's been now that we have the BODR, I mean, then I think that would be the next time.
Dylan and I sat down for 3.5 hours yesterday and went over the BODR. I've actually read it. And I think it's very well put together.
Good.
I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you, when I read it.
Hmm.
There's a lot more detail than I anticipated. Certainly a very professional effort, so I think we're in good hands at the moment. We do have some questions that I think we're gonna need to address moving forward. And Dylan and I are on the same page with that, not that my
Great.
opinion matters so much, but I do have a background as a chemist and a scientist, so it does help. So,
Very good.
And just to echo that, I just want to make sure that anyone that watches this recognizes that this was a substantial document. It's over 400.
453 pages, as I recall. Not counting.
73.
473, thank you.
And it should not state, they did a lot more work, I think, than at least a lot more than I anticipated having in a basis of design report or 30% final design. So again, we've had some bumps in the road with the project schedule, but it's good to see that it's all coming to fruition and that, we're
Right.
not left wanting with what we were provided for a deliverable. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent.
And really that's all I have for an update. Legal update was again, just that we're waiting to hear back from council with what Blackbeard provided us for a response to the meeting. So.
Okay, any questions from the board? Further questions? from the
No.
board
No.
On this? All righty, thank you again, Dylan, for the report and for your extra work in all of this. Let's move on to the next topic then, bring in Chief Noyes, drought, fire ban, water restriction update, so on the fire ban?
They lifted it,
Mhm.
so, we followed suit and we'll just monitor it. It's been, conditions have been pretty good for burning. So there was a lot of property managers and other folks waiting to burn brush and that sort of thing, so.
Yeah, I noticed some burning from one of the property managers, but stayed low to the ground and kind of wafted over towards the ice arena, but I'll leave it at that at this point.
Yep,
But yeah, good. So no more, no restriction, but you still have to get the permit
you
for
still gotta get a permit.
right.
Yep, you still
So we're back to
require
the
permits.
usual rules.
Yep, unless it's snowing or actively raining, so. then-
Good.
But we're back to somewhat normal. Ground is still very dry.
Sure.
You go about an inch or two down.
Mm.
It's still really dry in there, but I think. Excuse me, as the amount of moisture that's out there now with the relative humidity, the frost, that sort of thing, that kind of changes the dynamic a little bit, so.
Very good.
Are we in a moderate drought or are we in a severe drought?
They're still in a-
They still have, that was the next thing. So we're still in a severe drought. So we're still at level 4, though I think where we left it was that if they moved, at the last meeting, if they moved from exceptional to moderate, we would drop from level 4 to a level 2 water restriction.
Right.
So I think the question is still on the table, being in a severe drought, do we stay at level 4 or do we want to drop down to level 2 or level 3 or any level for that matter? So I'll put that on the table.
My guess is that they always update these on Thursdays. My guess is tomorrow they're gonna change it to a moderate drought. If I was gonna bet on it. Just because of, what our
Mhm.
forecast is upcoming, and as Dave mentioned, we have leaf cover now that's gonna help hold moisture in the ground as well. So that's what I would imagine.
Right.
So depending upon, whatever you guys would like to do, but
So do we need to be level 4 even at severe? If not,
I think we're going into a period now that it's not like water use is going to be substantial
outdoor water, so maybe lift the restrictions completely.
That's totally up to the board, but that's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People aren't gonna be
Good.
watering
I would
their lawns
recommend
to
that.
Hope not.
watch it.
right, all
Turn
right.
to ice. I mean, it's.
I would
Yeah.
recommend that because I
Yep.
can't imagine that most people are gonna be trying to water their grass in the snow.
We would hope not, but,
So
all right, so let's go ahead,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and remove,
I would like, do we need to vote on that? Or
sure,
not?
why not?
I
It
would
never
like to
hurts to
make a
vote
motion that we lift the water restriction
completely.
completely at this juncture.
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Packard Field repairs. Hi, Brooke. So I think the way we left it with you was that the board was unwilling to contract with the company that you identified and got a quote for us to do it at this time, but we were looking for a little bit more information, but we kind of left it open as to when at all we would do it. So I'd just like to bring this to closure with the board. You have a little bit more information about them doing as a put down turf. So I think you talked to the
Yeah, the
company.
only additional information is that they could do it in the spring. It just requires more watering, which may or may not be an issue. You know, we don't have great access to for watering there. So if we don't get the natural rain, that could be an issue, but that's all he said. So it could easily be done in the spring.
Right, but how about now? We run out of time.
I
For
think it
turf.
could still be done now. But it's probably getting very close to the cutoff. I mean, he says as soon as, the freezes, not necessarily ground, but the turf.
Okay. So he's talking about seeding in the spring, right? Not,
No, I think he's talking about the same process.
so turf, so we would get grass right away, but we'd have to water it frequently. Any discussion from the board?
Well, I think we still don't have an answer as to whether or not there'll be an effort to try and put a stage on that area
Right.
again next year, so.
That was
I-
the true holdup.
Right. And I don't think we should spend the money right now until we get some sense of that path forward there. I've also, when I've driven by, it looks like some of the grass is actually growing, it's filled in quite a bit over what it was before. It's certainly not a fully filled in soccer field at this point in that area, but it's not, I don't think we're going to have any erosion problems or anything of that nature in the
Right.
coming months. So I would suggest that we hold off until spring. We can. I just think that's prudent. I think that gives us a little more latitude and time to actually figure out whether or not the Theater Under the Stars folks are, going to try and operate next year.
In that
If they
location.
are, we still will have to make a decision as to whether or not that would be a location where they could set their stage up, because it does indeed cause damage in the town, right?
Well, it's $4,000 worth of
Right.
repairs.
Right.
This year.
It's $4,000 worth of repairs.
Would the price be the same in the spring? Did he get into that at all? And this is our usual company, right? We would roll it into our contract.
Yes. Do you think, Dan, it's good to maybe just see what happens naturally? Perhaps it will regrow a little bit on its own, but I do think
It'll need some
we need to.
TLC, yeah.
Yeah.
Donna on whether or not she's going to want to do this again on Packard, and what our response to that will be.
I think the last I heard from her directly was that they do intend to put a request in front of the board, but that's still months away and they may change, or she may change her mind. We are storing Is that correct, Megan? We are storing some of their material in one of our containers?
Or is it just out in the open right
Oh,
now?
it's out in the open?
Yeah.
The,
Yeah,
Oh, this would be the stage and
Up by
the
old transfer
fencing?
Station,
yeah.
up by the.
Oh, about in that area that we cleared out, so it's just out there. Okay.
when do we, do we want to give her a date that we would want that request?
Well, that's where I was getting to, you know, how to,
So that we can respond if this is gonna require additional budgetary.
Well,
Funding.
Certainly before we make a decision on funding to patch the field, I think we need to have some sense of that answer.
well, I'm going to be the other way around, maybe.
What I mean is if we know that she's supposed to come back and that we are leaning towards allowing that, then we need to probably add in money to the budget to.
Well, in your budget line
Well-
on the field, right, the contract is a set, you'll negotiate a
Yes,
contract for
yes.
next year. Is it a calendar year?
Yes.
And so do we add another, you're asking, do we add this $4,000 to that contract during our budget discussions this fall? If we put it off to the spring rather than just taking it out of contingency? No, did you say you had money available? Or did you use it?
There's a part of.
You have part of it, that's right.
$2,000 still available.
Right,
But if this is, again, I just keep going back to, if this is going to be an annual request, why are we bothering to?
We shouldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
We shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. I think this takes a bigger discussion and. I feel
okay,
bad
no,
that
I'm
Donna's
not
here to
disagreeing with
hear
that. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the procedural aspects of it now, so we should see a plus up in your budget request this year for the repair. Because the repair will occur next year.
Perhaps.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, but we
Yeah, okay.
should have the money in there in the event. It could be, right,
It'll be a topic of discussion.
as to whether or not to
Yeah.
go forward with it.
Yeah.
All right, is that the board's decision then? We'll continue to wait on this and.
Yeah.
And we'll look for the funds to be added to Brooks' budget line in the event we do decide to do it. We will have the funds already. Appropriated, I think is the appropriate word.
Yeah.
Town meeting. Okay, that's Packard Field. Let's move to department head updates. Brooke, why don't we just keep with you here?
Okay.
You can finish off, and if you'd like to leave afterward, that's fine.
Sure. My program or my department updates were not included in the. packet?
No, we got,
Oh, you did?
well, it wasn't in the, it was, came as a separate document with the others. Yeah,
So, do you have any questions about any of that?
I didn't have any.
No, I didn't
Dan
have any
or
questions.
Wendy, any questions on her
No.
report or anything else actually for?
I actually had a question about, on the financial report. Sorry, just need the glasses for this. I noticed for the Waterfront Freedom Pass income that it had increased significantly for this report than for what we had last meeting. Which was just 2 weeks ago. So it's up to 30,000 now from the Waterfront Freedom Pass. It was 19 last time. Was that just a function of when the payments came through?
Yep. Both the September and October payments came in together,
Okay,
and that is the total amount that will be received from WVRA
okay, thank you.
this year.
I was assuming that, but
Yeah.
it's good to.
Well, I just want to bring up a couple of things.
Sure.
There have been significant developments for WVRA that could impact the rec department's revenue for 2026. Which we can, meet at another time to go
Yeah,
over. in
let's do that.
Budget meeting to just discuss that, but I wanted to be aware of that.
Yeah, we will talk separately.
And then also the Central New Hampshire Chamber of Commerce, where I serve as a board member, has reached out to Steve. To see if he would be interested in having sort of a member spotlight. Which is on the, goes on their social media and our website, and, we reach out to different various businesses throughout the year. To sort of give them an opportunity and platform to speak about their successes and challenges, and so anyway, Steve received this email and what was, thought maybe it might be a good opportunity to talk about the wastewater treatment plant and some other things that we may or may not want to do. Getting the word out about that challenge could be a good idea, and I just wanted to bring that up as an
Was-
opportunity.
What's the cost for that?
$0.
Wow.
Something to consider.
No, sure,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
And of course, I don't necessarily think it needs to be Steve. I think Steve is the contact, so I don't know if Dylan would be more appropriate or just the town as a whole, or, that's something that could be discussed, but it might be an opportunity to start talking about.
They're looking for precisely what?
They're just looking, we get to decide what we share. So I was just seeing the opportunity in that, but really they're just trying to put a spotlight on their members, right? So they choose
Right.
different people. So it's, you're just sharing your successes, your story, but however you want to. So,
And what would be the format of the sharing? You know,
the website, social media, it's usually like in a few paragraphs.
so be writing something
Yes.
we'd like to write about the town of Waterville Valley that gets put into their website, basically.
And it would be like a feature, so it wouldn't be forever, it would just be,
A feature. Yeah. Is there, you've mentioned Dylan, or any other things you'd like to highlight on?
That's why we were kind of,
yeah, I mean, it's a bigger discussion, I just thought.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Investing it.
kinda take the
Yeah.
temperature,
Yeah.
if you thought that was.
No, I think it's a good idea. I think,
Oh,
we should-
no.
I think we should, maybe we should see what we want actually to have as the feature
Absolutely.
article.
I mean, I think that's big news to share with our regional community about what's going on in Waterville Valley, that people might, be interested.
Yeah.
in hearing.
Is this a one-time thing or
Yes.
like, okay,
Yes.
great. Great, yeah.
it reminds me of, I was a member of the Rotary Club in Newburyport for a few years, and they would have, I think, monthly member spotlights, so
Sure.
you'd have the opportunity to go
Right.
up at the meeting, present a little bit about what your organization is actively doing, and really just as a marketing tool.
So this would be town activities, based on some town activity or activities we'd like to highlight.
Anything, yes. I honestly, my mind goes directly to that project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To give
no,
it a little
that's-
bit of exposure,
Mhm.
Sure,
but yeah, it could be anything.
Cool.
okay. I think we're all in favor of that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put
Yeah.
together a few ideas and then share them with you, and
That's fine.
Perfect.
When do you need to get back to them? You can tell them yes, but when would they like the
We
feature
could
article?
say, yes, we're interested right away, and then probably.
Find out when they want an
Yes.
article,
Yeah.
some draft.
Yeah.
All
Great.
right, that works. Yep.
That's all I have. Just, questions.
Any further questions for Rick? Nope. Dylan, how about municipal services, water and wastewater?
Not much to report, there's got some maintenance that needs to be performed at the facility. There's gonna be an outside vendor, it's gonna have to do that. Some of it's beyond the extent of what we are able to do. Nothing that's in,
Mhm.
nothing that's irreparable or anything like that, but certainly past our extent of what we can do internally.
Okay.
Otherwise, just status quo, things are good. I did want to ask the board a question though.
Sure.
Regarding, we'll see if you guys feel like want to answer it. I was just
Okay.
looking to see if you had any input off of the Andy Knight article regarding the wastewater treatment facility in the wigwag.
No, I've not heard anything since it just came out, I think, this
Right.
weekend.
Yeah,
I
Really?
heard positive response. I thought,
Good.
the person who talked to me thought he hit it out of the park with respect to trying to answer questions for the town that they might have on this project. I read the article myself. I thought it was a little hard hitting in a couple places, but I thought the points were well made.
sure.
That's the journalism the wigwag is known for.
And again, the reason why I'm asking is because even, we don't need any sites in there to, if there's any questions to reach out to me. I never hear from anybody. So,
Right.
I.
Right.
You don't know what that means, right? It
Exactly.
could be good, it could be bad,
Exactly.
could be
Right.
neutral.
So I just wanted to see if they're
Right.
trying to keep a finger on the pulse, so to speak, and understand, how the town is kind of taking that.
I think when we have our public hearing, we'll be
Yeah,
hearing
we'll find
a
out.
couple things.
Yeah.
I've heard that people were really glad to read all that and they, if
Good.
anything, felt frustrated that they hadn't had an opportunity to hear it earlier.
Mhm.
So I think it was a great platform.
Yeah. Well, the timing was good. It's tough to, I mean, we do talk about it regularly, but to have it all in one place, this is a good point, since we've come up to our BODR and sorts of decisions we have to make. It's a good time to have that out there as the initial, as an initial article, setting things up, I think, for further discussions, which we'll have. Great.
Yeah, I think the information in the BODR will be eye-opening to individuals across our town.
Sure.
And I think they will have a much better understanding of the situation with respect to where we are and where we're going. And why we have to go in this direction.
Okay.
And so I think. The timing's very good with respect to that, as you said. But I do think we're now backed up with the science and documents to support that from the engineering firm, and I think that's really good. We've been waiting for this for a long time, so,
A very long time.
yeah.
Okay, how's things going with staff? How's Chris? And your backup staffed up completely, so to
Yes.
speak?
So we're back to,
All of three?
besides me, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yep, so everyone's back and healthy, so we're in good shape for now, so, in there.
Chris is awake during his job, or?
Yes, yeah.
Colicky
It's
baby
sad.
isn't?
It's just a thing after another, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they're powering through it. So I really, how do you think you would? Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you have any questions regarding anything else.
No, I don't
Sorry,
have any.
Again, I totally spaced my mind on the department director report for this meeting, so I apologize. But
It's fine. You got everything else you needed to say. Whoops. All right. Chief? Would you like to pick up the baton?
Take it over, I'll answer any questions which you might have. I think all of you had a chance to kind of, at least a bit of brief on the ammonia alarm over at the Ace Arena last
Mhm.
week. If there's certainly any questions, I'm willing to answer that for you.
If we did not have an actual ammonia leak, what was giving rise to the, if you will, smoke in the arena?
Well, it was venting based on the condition, the weather conditions. It was active, it was still actively venting
Oh,
from that room.
Okay, so we're just getting more venting.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was still operational when we arrived. It was still working. It was.
Yep.
So with the smell of smoke, seeing smoke coming out of vents and the ammonia alarm, the initial assumption was the room with the ammonia is
Yep.
on fire.
Right.
Yeah, and
Luckily, that turned out not to be. the
luckily
case.
that was.
Very luckily,
That was not the case, so, but because it was a rainy day, it was the first time they had a chance to burn brush. The cloud was blowing to the east,
Right.
so smelling smoke, seeing smoke.
Power outage
And
ahead of
then with
time.
an ammonia alarm that just happened to coincide with our power outage.
Right.
Which was highly unusual because for the number of power outages that we have here, that has never happened.
Yep.
So when that alarm goes off, it is the one and only spot in this town that has hazardous materials besides the, your propane farms, for town square and and the other condos and stuff like that.
Well, I commend your team for a good response. It was great that everybody responded so quickly and took appropriate action.
Appreciate that. We don't like doing that. Those our first instance is for life safety, get
Yep.
everybody away.
And that's where I have a comment.
Okay.
I feel like we need another type of alarm for something as hazardous as the ammonia, because my staff heard the fire alarm, went out, and again, this is of course coinciding with the power outage. We were trying to get the cafe up and running, so they went out, spent a few minutes outside, just saw a member of your team casually walking towards the arena area. Weren't aware of anything else. Went back into the kitchen area because we constantly have fire alarms in town square. Someone burns a piece of toast a couple stories up and the fire alarm goes off. It's constant, you know that. And it's kind of become the whole situation of the boy who cried wolf. You know, you hear the alarm, you go outside, you assess the situation, you don't smell anything, you don't see anything. If you can get away from the blare of the alarm and there's work to do, and it's uncomfortable outside, I wasn't there at the time, that was what they chose to do. I really feel like there needs to be another type of an alarm for something as hazardous as ammonia so that everyone knows to evacuate.
Without waiting to be told. Is that-
Well, they weren't told.
A
I
fire
told them.
alarm is just that. It is a get out of the building alarm. Anytime you hear that, you are supposed to evacuate the building, whether it's a false alarm or not. That is what's supposed to happen. We teach little kids this tall to do that, and the adults should do the same thing. I cannot impress upon more that if you have a fire alarm, get out of your building.
I understand that, but
Get
even,
out, and we don't have, NFPA doesn't require multiple alarms, we can't. It is a get out of the building, so we were the ones that initiated the fire alarms. We pulled the pull stations to dump those buildings, to get all those people out of those buildings. That is the only way that we can do it effectively, to get those out, and yes, I agree, nuisance alarms create complacency, and complacency kills
Mhm.
in our business. And unfortunately, there isn't another, other than the building itself where the issue is happening. All those other buildings, there is nothing attached to those buildings that would warrant an ammonia or a separate alarm.
but if there was the fire, I agree with you, fire alarm, get outside of the buildings. But if there could be a secondary alarm going off just from the source of the issue, then that could be heard audibly from all the other buildings that are evacuated. And then there's that second tier understanding of the increased danger. Because what if something happened and your department was so caught up in some immediacy that they couldn't get through and tell everyone to get out of the square? I think there needs to be a secondary audible alarm to escalate the evacuation, so you all don't have to be responsible for doing it as well.
I would disagree, and there is no such thing. I don't know of a such thing. The building itself has an ammonia alarm. It does sound where you're located in town square. You probably can't hear it, especially with the weather conditions. Other than, specific alarms for hazardous material. In town square that doesn't have one, if we wanted to put one on the other side of the building,
Mhm.
perhaps.
I think that would be appropriate.
Maybe we could do that.
I strongly think that would be
That would
appropriate,
be-
yes. And then everyone who's educated in that secondary alarm would be able to assist with any guests who just don't understand the sound
Sure,
and would be able to help your team be more effective.
sure.
Margaret, would you like to say something?
When I was a kid, we used to have a muster area. And everybody went that muster area,
Right.
and if it was safe to go back, somebody would come by from the fire department already and say, okay, you can go back. Do we have a single muster area in town square?
We do, and it is in their emergency response plans. The problem, what has happened with those plans that now that is no longer staff. There is no longer a person to direct people to that. It's across town square parking lot. Everyone's supposed to meet by where the old skate park was, right? That's their little lot over there.
Well, because the other issue is each building has its separate alarm, so you could be in A building and not realize that B building's alarm is going off
Correct,
because
they
you're
are
inside.
separate.
So, I mean,
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that makes
and the emergency response plan for town square, no matter which building it's in, they have the same they're all supposed to report to the same location, and it doesn't matter what time of day or night that it is. Because, yes, like Margaret said, it allows us, one, to help for accountability, two, to be able to tell them, yes, it's safe to return, or no, you can't come back in. We will then send you to a secondary location, whether if it's, say, in the middle of the winter,
Mhm.
we send them to the Black Bear, or we send them to the rec department, or we send them to the athletic club, you know, or to one of the other places,
Right.
but where that has kind of fallen short is it is now no longer
Yeah,
manned.
there's no staff to.
Is that something that's required? And therefore, should it be manned, or was that something that was more of a,
It's
A
not, I think
voluntary.
it's more of a modification to their emergency plan. Because even at, excuse me, at night, the hotels aren't required to be monitored as long as they are alarmed and sprinkled. They don't have to be. So we rely on people knowing when they hear that alarm to go outside the building. In the hotel rooms, the condominiums have the little map on the back of the door. It's supposed to tell you where to go.
yeah, what stairwell to use and all
Yeah,
that sort of.
which stairwell to use and where you're supposed to be going.
So a couple things come to my mind. First one Wendy's talking about, is it something that you would look at as the public safety officer to re-engage on the alarm situation in town square and to see if we would require, the town would require for safety purposes, any modifications to the current plan or not, you know?
Yes, so as part of the annual life
You
safety.
do that
we-
every year,
we
yes.
do review those
Yeah,
with them. About every 3 years, we'll review their emergency response plan.
okay,
We don't do that plan annually. It's usually a pretty big document and.
Right.
We'll try to review it if there are new faces.
right. Is this an
So,
occasion, though,
yeah.
that brings to mind that maybe we need to review it because there was
Sure.
confusion?
Absolutely,
So-
you know, especially during the day, you know, perhaps they have another different dedicated person. That's responsible, whether it's someone in maintenance or whoever. To be able to help direct, and that allows us to have a one person. It's difficult, you know, it's difficult when you're talking multiple buildings.
Right.
Potentially dozens, if not hundreds.
It's
of
probably the
people.
most complicated area for evacuation that we have. It's not a single building,
It
like you
is, and
said.
that's the one thing that we rely on is the fire alarm.
Right.
Because that's what we have.
I guess what I'm asking for is really, is this something, given what happened, is this not a wake-up call, but a situation we had to look at and maybe review all that? I don't know the last time we reviewed it, but to make whatever changes that would avoid some of the potential complications.
I am with, in talks with them, the ice arena manager. Because the issue that I have is that alarm never dialed out.
Right.
It never went out to us. We just got a smoke in the building call because someone. saw
Right,
smoke.
that was my next issue, but go
Somebody
ahead,
saw
yeah.
smoke. Nobody reported an ammonia leak.
Oh,
So we didn't show up. We didn't know that there was an ammonia problem till we showed up. And saw the light on the outside of the
Is
building.
it wasn't it's not an audible alarm, it's just a flashing
It
light.
is
but-
inside, but you don't really
Inside,
hear. Yeah,
Right, but but this was like, was the light outside?
Yeah, a
You
little
see-
blue light. that
Yeah,
flashes
you would think
out.
if for ammonia, you'd
So
want
the
to know
building,
outside.
the place where the ammonia is stored and all the pumps and everything have a room on the backside of it.
Right, and that's not hooked up or,
It's
To
not, so when
automatically-
they redid the system, I guess shame on me, I just assumed with the new system, they connected it to the alarm. System, the current fire alarm, because
Right.
it's supposed to be, like its own zone.
mhm.
And that didn't happen. And so because we don't, again, I can't remember once in the last 22 years ever having this alarm go off for us. And when they redid the system, just assumed that that alarm was tied into the fire alarm system.
and what would that give you if it was tied on?
That would be just like any other fire alarm or
It would,
sprinkler.
Go
or
to
any
the-
other, yep, like a smoke detector going off. it would dial out, it would call us saying you have a fire alarm and this is, but on a separate zone, it would then call and say you have an ammonia alarm,
Right. So that's always
which
something. we
that
need
is
to
a
fix.
much different response from
Of
us.
course,
Yeah,
so, and that's
Yeah,
town
then
property,
fire.
so that's something we
Yes,
have to fix.
exactly.
Than the fire alarm.
Right,
So the company that did come and check the system, they checked for leaks. Was able to confirm that there was no leak, it was a faulty trip.
Mhm.
And did confirm that he was gonna have a conversation about getting that connected as soon as possible. To there, so I should have some news for you.
okay, but that'd be completely internal to the town.
Yeah,
because
that's internal,
We own,
usually,
that, right,
all that work had been done about, what, 4 years ago?
okay.
Uh,
So we
Where's
need-
the blue light? It's on the
Uh,
outside,
right outside the back door.
on the back side,
Yeah.
but we don't have anything towards the
Where the Zamboni
front
door
side
is.
of the building, right?
Yeah,
And that could be part of a
We should-
review of
yeah,
Of that
absolutely.
Yeah, we
particular
should
lot.
put a
Well, absolutely,
light out
because
on the-
even
on that
a light
front
that's
side,
visible
because
from
if
the
somebody
town
sees a blue
square.
light flashing,
Yes,
that could be the trigger that says.
if they
"Hey,
know what
this
it
is-"
means.
And for us, it confirms our response, because if we came up the other way.
Yep.
And came into town square, we would never saw the blue light,
right,
but because we came across Valley Road,
You could see it as you
we
were,
saw the blue light,
across
and
the
all of a
pond.
sudden we have standoff distances and
Right,
right.
evacuate,
So that'll be fixed as part of a review of that whole system, that whole alarm system, and
Yeah.
may probably will require another light and a more visible
Yeah, Yeah.
position for town square folks.
and possibly as something auditory as
Yeah,
well, because it's town property, we can't be
Yeah,
putting
we'll have to,
people at
we'll have to
risk.
fix that.
Yep.
The other thing is, I think the issue you brought up is, there's a time, or the way I put it, the time to review the whole evacuation process and the alarm procedures for town square. That would be, I think, a second follow-up thing to do.
we're in the midst of their annual life safety
And
right
then-
now
okay.
anyway. So we'll make that part of,
Right.
we'll do that review as.
Okay,
part of
great.
that Before we finish those inspections.
I think that, and the third thing actually refers back to the first, and that is, when you said that, you got a call in for smoke, that was not an ammonia alarm you knew you were responding to. There seems to be something, in this case, it seems to be something of a communications breakdown, I think, as well.
When we get these reports.
Yeah.
It's somebody driving by, it's somebody
Right,
just observing, so the information we sometimes get is not always.
right, no, you have to check it
It's not
out.
always great. The tying the alarm system into the main alarm
Is the key,
is the key,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
I was thinking
Because then
about-
We would have known, ahead of time, because I had to call our hazmat team, I had,
Right,
worry about evacuations first and then consider about whether or not, luckily, the Campton chief is on the hazmat team. So we were able to send a crew in on SCBA's and evaluate the conditions inside there first.
So what I get all that. I think what I was referring to more was, there were calls, I mean, there was no way for people not in town square to know what was going on. And if you had a plume of ammonia moving towards, say, Lost Pass Road up that way, there was no system. I mean, there is a system, but it didn't seem to be triggered. I'm talking about
Yeah, the
Genesis.
Yeah.
That's
There's no
not for
way
that?
We can do a live update.
That's not what it's for.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's not what it's for.
okay,
There's no way, we will do it absolutely as soon as we need to, and if it needed to be something that was right then and there, we would have done a reverse 911.
and just call everyone, right,
Through either Homeland Security and Emergency Management or Grafton County. But we were still trying to figure out what we had. I didn't want to, so basically, if ammonia is on fire, a small leak, a large leak, and on fire are three different things.
Mhm.
We react to it in three different ways.
sure,
There are standard standoff distances based on the wind direction, weather, all that. If it's on fire, it is a 1 mile radius.
That's all the valley floor,
That is
Yeah.
entire town.
right?
Before I wanted to do that, I wanted to make sure that what the
Well,
conditions.
We have multiple of evacuation routes, so that wouldn't have been a bad. I'm being satirical here.
So, yeah, but, to release that information, it's almost impossible for us to do live updates. We will do an update as quickly as we can, stay away, stuff happening here and there. We can use social media, which we did. We called, the resort, said, because one, they're the property owner. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Please tell people to stay away. And we were able to get that message out on social media. Once we were able to get, Genesis by that time, we had figured out that, what issue that we had, so it was kind of a moot point at that point,
Okay,
so.
well, a lot of things to ponder on this, I think, unless the
Yeah.
board wanted to talk about it further, I think you got a good idea. All right, thank you, chief. I think you had some other things that you might want to bring up,
Some
the
other things. so
Dakota Memorial.
one thing that Pat gave me, I just wanted to bring it up to you
Yeah.
is, looking at changing, some of the. Our fee schedule for, we had some, requests from, a recommendation from, I believe it's from the county attorney. That says our record request and our 91A request, so the freedom of information stuff, should be two different forms. And, which then prompted him to kind of look at the fee schedules of releasing those reports and how much we charge. Pistol permits are $10, report requests are $15, but the right to know request based on case law, at most allows us to charge $1 a page.
Right,
So my recommendation is, if you're okay with that, we were gonna, just make those fee changes.
yeah, no, that's the requirement. I think it's very low, and that's part of the problem too,
Yeah.
because it's so low, you can get a lot
Yeah.
of frivolous.
Yep.
Requests, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, so a regular report request would be 15, but a right to know request will be $1 a page.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
puts us in line statewide,
Right,
of statewide.
Okay.
The next question is, an ambulance. I was hoping to see an ambulance hopefully this week. I don't have a lot of faith that we will, but hopefully in the next.
we're running out of week.
In the next year, we're running out of weeks. I did, submit we were steered towards, a company called Garage. Garage.com is basically a nationwide online, kind of like Carvana or anything except for fire trucks and ambulances. They sell, they'll do an appraisal. This was the appraisal report. I just got it yesterday, so it wasn't in part of your report. So they look at the videos, pictures. I sent you a supplemental of what was currently, excuse me. What was currently on their page as of, I think, the 30th of October. In comparison to our
Yeah.
type of ambulance and what.
Yeah,
it's-
there were a lot of, there was like a
What's
dozen different ones, they're all over the lot, so to speak,
Mhm.
mileage wise, age wise and all of that.
Yeah, I tried to pick the ones that were pretty much our
Closest to
age.
ours, 2014.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a 2014
10-year-old.
Terrastar, similar type of truck.
I'm surprised at that appraisal, that seems high, isn't it? We were thinking it'd be a little bit lower.
I was initially thinking right around in the 65 range.
No, okay,
Was my guess.
so then it's right on, you're right on
That's
target.
what they said.
Yeah,
And
you're right on
so I was
target.
like,
Okay,
okay, we did have some interest from another department, and they came back to us at, 45.
Hmm.
It's up to you. If we enter an agreement with Garage, it's basically they host it for free, they handle the transaction, everything. When we sell it, it's 10% of the sales price. So if you look at, if we're on the low end of the range and we're gonna
At
save,
50,
we're gonna pay
right.
them $5,000 to sell it for
Right.
50,000.
We're at the 45, right,
Yeah.
which you already have.
You're at the 45, or if we can do some negotiations, so I haven't signed any agreement with them or anything like that to post it at this time. I just kind of wanted to get your opinion of what direction.
What happened to the one community we had that was interested?
Well, they're going back and forth, right?
Yeah, they made an offer, we told them 65, they came back at 45.
So if you can end
Oh.
up somewhere in the middle.
We
then
may,
you're-
Tell them to go
Yeah,
pound sand.
we may.
No.
Well, but the
No.
point is that if we go through this service, we may end up at 45 anyway. If we only end up with 50
lower end, yeah.
50,000, the lower end, because it was 50 to 70, right?
It's 50 to 70, in my head, based on
Right.
the temperature of what was out there, I guessed around 65. So,
Well, if you can settle on 55, that would seem
yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
And-
so.
What's your
My
inclination?
goal is to get the most we can for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So, whichever direction, if we can get into negotiations with the other town before we decide to post.
Yeah,
just post
they
it
seem
nationally.
amenable to that.
I don't know what the lead time is. Again, I
Mm.
sent you what was currently on
Right.
there. There's about six.
More, yeah, a bunch of them.
9 ambulances.
Yeah,
that
there are a whole bunch of them.
ours.
Mm.
So I don't know how long.
Yeah, and they're all much more than say all, but most of all of them, I think, were much lower than the 50 to 70.
Oh, yeah, yeah, they were around the 23,
Yeah,
35
Look
range.
at the mileage though.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
assume it's
Yeah.
a combination
They were
of
higher
age,
mileage.
mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, but
Hello?
it's better for us to move if we can to a local community, so you don't have to store it over the winter as well, because that'll only devalue it, right?
correct.
Yeah.
The faster we can.
Move
turn
it,
this one
because
over,
otherwise it gets
Yeah.
stored outside,
We
right?
don't
Yeah.
have to, it'll have to be stored outside and, you
Yeah.
know, if it doesn't interfere with thinking about putting it out back. You know, but then you're looking at the thing's gonna get buried in snow and
Exactly,
ice and stuff and,
not good.
so.
So the town seem interested in negotiating and you get the sense,
We haven't reached back out since they came back with their offer, so.
no, we don't know.
I can reach out to them. I just wanted to. At least give you the
This option,
information
right.
of what it is, you know, what they're going for. And go from there.
No, I would say, touch base with them and make a counter offer and
Yep.
and get a feel for what they're saying, and if it doesn't seem to work, then I think we move to these folks.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Yeah,
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Dakota Memorial, I think you had provided us with some language on that, or a slideshow,
I
I think.
did, did
You
we
ready?
have that?
You ready to talk
presentation?
about it? Yeah, well, you get, you gave us a slideshow. You ready to talk about it now, or do you want to wait?
I'd be happy to.
That's up to you.
I think they just got it. A couple of days ago. Would you like some time to?
Well, I just first saw it when we got the packet.
when
I
you
mean, we
maybe-
can look at it some more.
Put it on.
The main thing I saw from the change was that you have a completely different location now.
Correct.
So,
Yep. So
Well, we
we
can-
did the location and consult with the department heads.
mhm.
You know, there was some current concerns with that other location.
Right,
Looking at this
What were the
location.
concerns?
I can speak to that if you like, Dave.
Sure,
Yeah.
My main concern, Dan, is proximity to the water treatment facility. It limits us for future expansion. It's on top, it's gonna be right in the area of existing utilities. You name it. Ideally, we don't put more people towards our water treatment facility. That's, keep them away from it, as it was my.
Weren't we talking over by the library?
well, that was initially, but then we had moved on to by the water treatment plant and pump house number 2, the area before that.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
the last, I think we had heard
a
about
little
it,
piece of land lit next to the river.
right? And then, we got the PowerPoint and it's now moved to basically the intersection of Valley and Packard
Correct.
as that corner there.
So looking at that, at that section with, do we have the ability to put it up and,
We didn't do that today.
okay, we can.
But it's just the intersection, I think everyone, Valley and,
Yeah, so there is about, about 50 feet by
right,
80, 100 feet along between the sidewalk and the field that doesn't interfere with the field at all.
Right.
You got a couple pine trees there. So utilizing, putting a monument, not only for our veterans there, the
Right.
field also doesn't have a flagpole.
right.
So for any types of sporting events or anything
Right.
official there.
This would be more of a notables of Waterville Valley Memorial, but we're naming it after.
Yeah, I
We have a
kind
sense of
of
the
envision, so the idea is to get a committee together
Right.
to,
figure that
there's
out.
two parts of this. There's a veterans
Right, which was the
memorial where we
initial,
recognize the veterans
Right.
of
yeah,
Waterville
the Mark
Valley.
and I have been working on that. That was it's just sort of added to that since Mark's
Yes,
passing.
and the second part of it would be a separate portion of that would seemingly be, and of course, up for discussion with the committee, relatively similar to the memorial, but having some sort of memorial wall, something for our historical park, recognizing the Waterville Valley Hall of Fame inductees from the Waterville Valley Foundation. And so a public-private partnership where we would rely on the private partnership to fund that portion of
You mean from the Hall of Fame,
from
not,
the Hall of Fame, not
yeah,
the
yeah,
foundation. the
yeah,
Hall of Fame.
okay.
From the Hall of Fame. So a way to recognize those people who have been selected throughout the years that have had an impact on Waterville Valley. Have a little bit of a historical piece to it, but some sort of nice monument along the sidewalk there that leads up to the corner where we can develop that
Mhm.
corner into a memorial area. Not thinking that has to be really large.
Right.
Well, I think the whole idea was to get a committee going to look at
Yeah.
things like costs and whether we needed to put any money, if we wanted to, in the budget, the
Mhm.
warrant article in next March
Yes,
to start the engineering portion of this.
correct.
It would be a really good use of those road signs, auctioning off the road signs.
That would
to
be
help
one way to pick,
fund.
to get some money, right?
Yeah.
How do you handle expansion because of the
A good question for the committee.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
question
I
for the
think we let the
committee.
committee, I think, and
Well,
agree on a committee and
it's
let
an
them.
important component of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Because,
One point I want to make before I do the official, presentation, you'll have a chance just to see the, draft slideshow of what I created. And maybe we can make it public so everybody else can see it also, but I'd like an opportunity to, certainly a public forum, maybe we'll be on here, whether it's a separate, public invite session with garnering support for committee members
Mhm.
to join, but to also come up with ideas of what this would certainly would look like. I have called it the Dakota Memorial Park for two reasons. One, for Mark Paul, who was one of only two that I know of through historical records that had been killed in action.
Mhm.
That was a resident of Waterville Valley, another one being a World War I veteran.
Mm.
And also our longtime town manager, where you're getting this notable citizens portion of the memorial and also being a veteran here, that I think it would be appropriate to call it the Dakota Memorial Park, based on these two notable people from
Sure.
Waterville Valley that would encompass exactly what these monuments would mean.
No, I think it's I'm been in support of this for a long time. I think next step in forming a committee and working out some of the specifics
Mhm.
about what it would be and the cost and whether we wanted to set any money aside
Mhm.
for engineering next year. I think that was always the plan.
Yes.
So, does the board agree that we continue down this path, pull
Yeah.
together a committee and then let's see what the committee.
I
Uh,
think Ray Kucharski would be interested in being on that committee, at
Absolutely.
least at one point.
I've mentioned it to a couple of our veterans in town and they
Yeah.
were very interested. Tom Gross said he had his support behind it, for me.
I think we can find,
And I think we
Those,
will
a
be
group of
reaching out
people.
to.
Right.
I did a presentation to our department head, like all of you to be part of the committee.
Yeah.
But
pull it together some more and, yeah, Ray's actually the one, discussions with me that kicked all of this off.
Mhm.
So, see if he's interested.
Yeah.
It's certain to be, something to do. All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Other than that, if there's any other questions.
I had none other.
Or
Anything
I
else?
think that's all I had.
All right. Hi, Margaret. Can you hang around for a little bit? We can finish the director's reports and then come back right to you at that point. Okay, so let's go ahead and move over. I think, Megan, hello? What's going on in DPW?
Not much, put all the trucks together, so they're ready to go. As you saw, we had a little bit of some flurries yesterday, stuck to the ground intermittently, but then the sun came out and melted it all away. So pretty much ready for first snowfall. We got our sand mixture here and ready. Only update that wasn't in the department head report was the Golden Eagle handrail installation will start on Monday. Tentatively Monday.
Great. And that will be, using Harry Stearns to do it? Any questions for DPW on anything at this point?
No,
I think you and Brooke were looking at pulling together a sign for the recreational. It's still on a thing to do list? Okay. Just on my tickler list to keep on asking.
It's still in the process for back and forth with Nugget Front and we're different
Okay.
design options.
Right, because we've added the sign on 49, just at the entrance to town, right?
The freestyle skiing one?
Right.
Yes,
That's kind of got wrapped up into.
yes, which I think we reported on last meeting.
yeah,
You did, right,
So it's still not ready for review.
okay, and on the rec land. We're gonna assign, no
Oh,
no fires, no landscaping, no tree cutting. Yeah, okay. I noticed I see, I think I mentioned last time that I'm just glad to see the parking signs or no parking signs at one end, but at the other end, the West Branch end, there's still nothing there.
Oh,
Are we
for-
planning to put anything there? What was our discussion on that?
For along the roadway?
Well, in that is you make that left off of West Branch, you have that area immediately to the left.
Right, yeah, just.
Right, that
Development
roadway,
trail,
right, and then you
definitely,
actually go
yes.
around to find the parking.
I thought there's one
There's a no parking on one sign on one side.
on the
I think,
riverside.
yes, I think it's Fire Lane or something like that. I don't know
Mhm.
if it says Fire Lane. I'd have to look again.
Yep, I would just have to consult with Dylan to see if there's any lines that run down that way.
Right. Well, I think the question was, yeah, okay, that's fine, whether or not we wanted to control parking at that, point people to the little parking area that we created. As a place to park. Or not,
Yep, maybe I can get a sign made that says parking this way with a arrow as well. Just so it points people to where a parking area is
right,
along with some.
and do we want parking to be, as soon as you make that left off of West Branch before you cross the bridge? That area there, are we okay with people parking there? That was the other question, you know where I'm talking about?
I know where you're talking about. I haven't
Yeah.
looked carefully enough.
Okay.
To be honest with you, to know whether there's enough space
Oh, there is.
For good,
Well, there's enough
Is it-
space for 4 cars, I think.
yeah.
I always thought that would be a good place people park. Mark didn't think so. He thought it wouldn't look good. But people park there. So now that it's town property, I think the point is whether or not we want to allow parking or not.
Hmm.
Previous owner
I
allowed
don't see
parking
why
there.
we should disallow it.
Well, that's the question.
I mean, I frame it in the opposite terms, because do we have a specific reason why we would want
I just said
people not,
Yeah.
oh, because Mark,
that he
didn't
thought
think
it,
it
well,
was
not because
attractive?
Mark said it, but
Mm.
because yes, that it would be a non-attractive place for people to park. That he would prefer people not park there from a aesthetic point of view.
yeah, I don't.
And that's the question I'm asking. Parking has been allowed there by the previous owner. Do we want parking there
I think
now?
we should continue to allow parking there.
Okay, well, then we should regularize it, yeah?
That would make sense.
Yep.
Okay. Do park between signs or something like that.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just trying to put some,
no, I got
yeah,
you.
yeah, no,
you
makes
know,
sense.
now that we own the property, let's make sure we have it signed properly.
Right,
So everyone knows how best to use
yes.
the property. Okay. Anything else, Megan, at this point? I don't think I had, let me just double check. I don't think I had anything else.
I know there's been some concern about a tree in particular on Osceola Road. Is
Oh,
that
yeah?
something? Yeah, there's
Oh, the one across from Tri-Pyramid?
yes.
I think
There's
that was
kind of
one of the
like
ones that
widow
you guys were
tree.
planning to take down.
We were not gonna take that one down, no.
Oh, I thought that was one of the ones.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Oh, okay, good.
okay.
Cool.
Widowmaker?
Yeah, it was dead branch that was
Yeah.
at the top of the tree.
Yeah,
We were concerned if the winds. predicted,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
right over the road edge, so.
Yeah.
We took the tower out and took care of it today.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
now that you've spoken up, Chief, can I just go back to you for a moment? I had a little note. E-bikes. It came up during our discussion with Tim Smith that there's an issue with e-bikes that I certainly wasn't aware about in terms of the potential speed some of them can achieve, and that at some point, I forget what he said, you have to actually have a motorcycle license.
Yeah, all falls under state statute.
Right, we had
Yeah.
talked about, I think you had recommended that we remove our ordinance for bicycles,
Mhm.
you know.
Because everything that covers bikes are covered by state statute, and I don't think there isn't anything more restrictive, I think, that we can do that the state.
No, I agree with
is-
that. I
is
just wanted to
offering.
see what your
So,
thoughts were on the,
Yeah,
on the matter.
we treat them just the way, if a bicycle is, still
share the
supposed to
road.
follow
Share the road,
rules of
right,
the road.
right,
That includes speed, that includes stopping at stop signs, believe it or
right,
not. All of those
right.
types of things along with the equipment that's required for them. And, the state over the last few years has, updated the laws to define what electric bikes are and the point of where they turn into a motorcycle or
Mhm.
moped.
Okay,
So those are the things for the patrol officers can deal with, that if they are, witnessing somebody speeding, you can be pulled over on a bicycle. So.
Interesting, right. But they are bicycles, right?
They are
Under a
bicycles in
certain
all
speed
sense of
limit.
yes, in all sense of the law, e-bikes are bicycles.
And so we
They're
treat 'em-
treated as bicycles for
Including such.
registration purposes, for license requirements, all of that, and their equipment is covered under the
Right.
bicycle statute.
So this gets to the concern I think that I've and the board has expressed about adults on bicycles in our multi-use paths.
Mhm.
So an e-bike in there would not be a good thing. So I think we have to do something about that signage with regard to bicycles. And just another reason to try to get that signage correct, keep
Yeah.
these bicycles on the right of way,
Mhm.
or the travel, excuse me, the travel lane portion of the road.
Does the National Forest have any regulations for e-bikes on trails?
They do.
Okay,
They mostly don't allow it, but I've heard, and I don't know anything specific for around here,
Hmm.
has, loosened up a little bit because of their popularity.
Yeah.
Their ability for, inexperienced and not very good riders being able to use one to
Right.
access many different parts that they normally couldn't.
right.
I think Tim mentioned that it's something on their radar screen. It is an issue. They're becoming more and more popular. And if you do start seeing them on, cross-country trails, I guess it'd be in our case, it could become an issue. That's what brought into my head the idea, well, we don't want them in our multi-use paths
Yeah.
at all. Some of these can go up to 20, 25 miles an hour, and they're still not considered a motorcycle.
No. They're not.
That's our speed limit.
But bikes
That's
can
a-
go pretty fast too, under just
Right.
pedaling.
Yeah.
Right,
And electric assist bikes, which is basically what I have, doesn't mean that I'm racing down the road.
no, it doesn't,
And it
but you're a
certainly by any
responsible
means,
person.
well,
You're not
I
someone
understand
renting a
that,
bike.
but just the mere presence of having an electric assist on a bike shouldn't necessarily preclude that. I've been almost run over by people on other bikes going a lot faster than I will ever ride
Yeah,
on.
no, I'm just saying we need to consider it. I'm not saying to
So-
preclude them. I'm saying that we need to be aware of the fact that they're becoming more and more popular. And one thing we do want to preclude is having e-bikes in our multi-use paths.
Mhm.
It would be too fast even at a slow speed, I think. And that gets to adults with bikes and those
And I think
paths.
it goes to education,
Yeah.
where we run into the issue like we always have is the visitors, they're renting bikes.
Exactly
from
where I
the
am.
Adventure Center,
Right,
they do get the instructions, but do they always listen or follow
no,
the rules?
Right.
So it comes down to education, and then, a lot of times it's education from a police officer.
Yeah.
On the side of the road.
Immediate consultation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to see where it was on your radar scope. As I said, the
Mhm.
resort's looking at it, as I understood Tim, they're standing back from it at the moment. Because it is kind of confusing
Yeah,
out there,
I still go with my recommendation that I don't. I don't think unless there's something specific that you have that.
just to keep them out of the
Makes them
multi-use, just keep
any
adult
more
bikes out of the
restriction
multi-use
that the
path.
state statute
No.
offers, and we're comfortable with the state statute.
No, Wendy, do you have a,
I haven't reviewed the state statute, to be honest, with the electric bikes, so. Yeah,
thank you. And thank you, Megan, for your report. Okay, that leaves, that's it, right? Nothing else? Okay, Steve?
Hello,
Town reports,
yeah, so.
Well, no, administrative
administrative. Yeah.
report. Yeah, he's always my last because he can roll right into the town manager's report.
I thought you were gonna say save the best.
And
Save the best for last.
Save the best for last, and then we can segue into the financial report. There is a method to my madness.
So you may recall at town meeting 2025, there was a warrant article that was passed to for the town to take ownership of a portion of Osceola Road.
Mhm.
Happy to report, I think you all saw the deed that planner and
Liz,
land use
Emerson,
consultant Liz
yeah.
Emerson created.
together, yeah.
Worked very cooperatively with the board at Osceola Condos and their council to get this quick claim deed created along with some maps, and now the handoff is with Alicia and I to get that recorded and registered at the Grafton County Deeds. So I was very happy with that whole
Great.
process.
The
How
town council is,
council
A-okay with it?
vetted the deed as well, so everything
we
looks
got
good.
that out of the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lost Pass.
yeah, exactly.
So I I enjoyed that you know, I experienced so much, I did ask Liz to connect with Tom Myrick and I
Right,
to look at a very similar warrant article that was passed, I believe, in the year 2008,
Mhm.
where the town voted to take acceptance of a portion of the Moose Run development roadways.
right.
So we had a good meeting yesterday on that, and Liz has had a couple of questions. I was able to provide her with a map that she wanted, as well as some other documentation that went along with that agreement. So she's working on it now, and hopefully next week we can get back in touch and have that quitclaim deed finalized by the end of the year.
Great.
Good.
So that goes to last board meeting. We talked, I think Wendy, you had brought up some concerns you had at the co-op.
Mhm.
And in particular, some recent power outages that have occurred in town. I said that I would take that opportunity to speak with Bill Johnstone, who's been our contact at the co-op. Bill and I were able to connect on Monday, and he was provided me with a lot of information that I was a little overloaded, but I told him, and I asked him, Bill, if he would be open to sharing some of that information at your next board meeting on the
Okay.
19th. In particular, some things that I had thought of in conversation with him that would be, I think, helpful for the town and for the board to understand. But just a brief history of the co-op's relationship with the valley, how they came to, you know, be the utility, the electric utility for the town. I think there's some history there that might be important for you to understand. An overview of their existing infrastructure. With respect to, they have a substation in Thornton, they have a substation here on 49,
Mhm.
how those two substations interact. Kind
Sure.
of an idea of what has caused the most recent disruptions, because he did go into, there were some equipment failures there. Then move into, you know, are there any ongoing infrastructure projects currently that they're making enhancements to the substations, which we, I think, all notice on 49, you see that big sign out at the entrance to the substation, and he did tell me that there's a very large investment going on over there, so I'd like him to talk to you about that, what that entails. And then finally,
Sure.
what are some good channels for the residents in town to use when there is service disruptions? Is their website the best conduit? Is there a customer service line that, you know, you folks can call that might get you a little more expedient answer on what's going on? And finally, he shared with me that he'll be retiring at the end of the year, so I was hoping that he could maybe pass the baton over to somebody, so he may have a guest or two with him.
That's fine.
If,
No, that'd be
you'd
good.
be okay with that?
I think
Okay.
we'd love to have them.
Definitely.
And come talk to
Yeah,
us and
absolutely.
give us the
Okay.
background and some updates of what they're planning and.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens tonight since we're supposed to get strong winds.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not going. Yeah, he's happy to do so.
Great, yeah, go ahead and schedule him and let's put him on, if he can make it the next, the first opportunity of one of our regular meetings, if it's next meeting, that's fine.
Okay. And the last and most exciting topic that I have for you folks today is this morning, Katie, Kristen, and I had a great conversation with Michelle Clark at DRA,
Mhm.
and we have a preliminary tax rate setting.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
So,
Good. It's about the right time of year.
yep,
yeah.
you folks have
Let me
also
do it.
seen the most recent, some of the financial forms that I presented to you in past meetings that all tick and tie to create what we have here in front of you today.
Yeah,
Mark was a whiz at this. He knew all of these financial forms inside and out. He really took the ball and ran with it this time of year. So I just wanted to give a good shout out to Vashon Kluke, the town's auditors, Matthew Murray, who was instrumental in helping us build some of these reports this year, along with Katie Crawford, our finance administrator, in her efforts to get to the point where we are right now. This summary sheet kind of gives you an example of what our town, county, local ed, and state ed tax rates were last year compared to where they're lining up this year. The change in that last column is 2025 town meeting. So that's what Mark had estimated.
we had talked about staying
Yeah.
under $10 total. That was the
Yep.
goal.
Yep, so that's where Mark estimated us to be last year. And that's where we came in.
At $9.96.
He was off by 1 penny. So
Very good.
the preliminary tax rate right now is set at $9.96.
Which for the listening audience will be up from $9.04 total. This is for all four.
Yep.
Sub taxes, or whatever they're called.
For reference, an annual tax impact on $1 million home would be a $920 additional. $500,000 home, $460 additional on the annual tax rate.
Mhm.
And I put a little blurb in here. I know we've had some prior communications this year on not using fund balance to offset our tax rate at all, but if we did decide to use fund balance, now would be the time to make that decision.
Yeah, we did have to make it now, I think.
Our fund balance currently sits at $858,665. For every $74,000 that we would deduct from that, we would affect the tax rate by a deduction of 10 cents.
And what are we looking for, bottom line, for the end of this year? In terms of revenue, the net from revenue and expenses, what's going to be left over?
$180,000.
That much?
Yeah.
We're gonna have 180.
Mhm.
So we've usually looked at that, and Margaret knows this exercise well as to whether we wanted to use any of those monies to offset some portion of the tax rate, or put it all into fund balance. I think last year, Margaret, correct me, I think last year was the first year we decided not to use any of the net plus we had at the
Right,
end of the
that's
tax
correct.
year, right? It's been a long time. As long as I've been on the board, we've always taken some money and used it to offset the tax rate. Does that sound right, Margaret? Do you remember?
Well, I don't know.
It,
Last
it
year,
was
is that
correct.
enough?
We did.
Right, but last year we did not,
But,
yeah.
At any rate, I think part of what we were looking at is, given that our tax rate is going to go up related to the wastewater treatment plant
Mhm.
and that kind of thing, whether it made sense to get people used to a lower tax rate and then have.
All of a sudden, a huge jump. Yes.
Bigger jumps.
Yeah,
So I think that was part of what we looked at.
yeah, no, that was part of it. Also included in that was moving up things on the CIP, or advancing them to get them funded, and prior to seeing a tax impact of the wastewater treatment plant. And we did a little bit of that the last couple of years. And that helps to account for the increase again for 2025, as we discussed at town meeting. I think there were personnel additions as well that we felt we needed to do. So we are where we thought we would be at this time of year.
One approach too, if I may.
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
I have not seen the town take in my tenure here, but I believe an option with our undesignated fund balance as we go into town meeting could be to help fund capital reserves. So if we wanted
Oh,
to
sure.
use some of that
Right.
fund balance to build our capital reserves.
That, or as we did, I think last year, we set aside, I think it was $1 for capital improvement projects.
Sure.
That put us
Yeah.
up close to the $10 mark, but not over.
Yeah.
That was part of it as well.
Mm.
So yeah, there are options here, but I think that the issue in front of the board today, and we really have to decide this soon, because you gotta get the tax bills out soon. We have to give people at least, 30 days,
Yes.
31 days?
Yep.
From the due date, is whether we want to reduce our 2025 tax rate by using fund balance, unassigned, undesignated fund balance.
Mm.
And what we've done in the past, as I've said, is take, instead of putting the money that we had in excess, if I can put it that way, we've used some of all of that to offset a little bit of the tax rate. But last year, we decided to put it all in the fund balance to plus that up instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think since we were very close to what was projected and what was communicated to everybody,
Right.
following the recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, we already have the
Yes.
scars for that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'd agree with that approach.
Yeah, so leave it at 996.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
And just for the audience out there, it's a very complicated process that DRA, Department of Revenue Administration, goes through to confirm what our tax rate would be with regard to expenditures being legal. There's the assessors go through
MS1.
and
Build
go
the
through and make sure all the assessments are are proportional. That's the key issue there.
Mhm.
So that the tax is fairly spread among the different types of properties, residential properties we have.
We
It's a
had,
very complicated formula, but they're sort of the final check and they set the rate actually.
they do,
We give them the inputs and this is what they're gonna set unless we change the input.
Right.
Which is offset some of this with an assigned fund balance.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Dan, you wanted to say?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to say. I just want to make sure people understood what was going on here. Like you said, Mark kept a lot of this. Yeah, well, this is, yeah, as Steve said, this is something that Mark, I think, reveled in, how his facility and all of this and
we were a little delayed this year. Mark always liked to be the first.
well,
We're not the
yeah,
first. I don't know exactly
That was
where we
his-
fell, but she
That's
tells
right.
us we're not the
I
last.
forgot, that's right, he was adamant and
Yeah.
being the first, so sorry we missed that, but.
Me too.
Okay, so at this point, what does DRA need from us, if anything? Are we just gonna set
This
it at?
was, yeah, informational only. If you had recommendations on using any fund balance, unassigned fund balance, I would take that into
Yeah.
our consideration, but it doesn't sound like you do.
so-
and I can set the rate.
I think we need a motion to set the rate
That'd be great.
and communicate that to DRA.
Do you want to make that motion?
I can make that motion, make the motion that we set the 2025 tax rate for $9.96.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, you can communicate that to DRA and the bills are going out when? The end of this week?
Kristen and I will be working feverishly tomorrow and Friday to do what we can do, but hopefully by the end of the week.
End of the week, all
Yeah.
right, so. For all those listening, look,
No,
look-
a minute ago.
look for them in your.
She
look
was
for
at
them-
conference last week, so
Yeah.
she's got a little bit of a pile on her desk.
Look for them in your mailbox.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
I mean, any questions on the financials?
Nope, not until we get to the budget process for next year. Well, I'm sorry, yeah, on the financials. Did anyone have any further questions on the financial report for the last bi-weekly period?
So this is totally cut up to show the MS, whatever it was, 434 figures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, Katie's updated the revenues.
Yeah, great.
Any questions on the
No.
financial report? We good? Which leads us last and the most important.
Yep.
The best for last is town manager and the select board work plan. Where do we stand on that?
Yeah, so Margaret as chair has joined us today to help facilitate a little bit of an update, but I'm happy to start, Margaret, if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things I have to say ought to be a non-public.
Oh, okay. All right, well, then we'll put you at the end of everything. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. All right, anything else on your work plan?
Yeah.
The select board work plan?
So the committee met last week on Friday or Thursday or Friday, and we finished the ranking of the candidates.
Well,
and-
let's save that for the non-public. I'm talking about anything else,
The work plan, that
The-
you've made into action item.
the action item work plan.
That's still in progress.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I needed to hear.
Okay,
Okay. Very good. If there are no questions at this point, we'll move to calendar review. So calendar review, the planning board is meeting on the 13th of November. They've now changed their starting times from this time forward to 8:30 in the morning. And it'll be, as I said, the 13th of November. Now, I need to bring this up to the other board members. I will not be able to make that meeting. It's primarily going to be a discussion with SE Group about further changes to zoning. And as we found out, as the planning board found out from town council, it has to be another select board member or a member of town staff who is seated. It has to be a select board member or a member of town staff in lieu of a select board member who can be seated for the select board ex officio position. It cannot be as for example, a former, as we have been using Margaret. So I won't be able to make it. I don't know if either one of you would like to
Okay.
pick up on
I
that.
could make it.
There is that, and then there is also, I think there will be moving to discuss and potentially accept as complete the
Application.
adventure zone application. That will be the other big item on the agenda. So if you can cover,
Mhm.
if you can cover me for that, or cover for the board, I should say, select board for that.
I think that was our agreement, right?
I think so.
I may
but-
not be in town for that anyway. I
Okay,
had a death in the.
oh, okay,
Sorry.
I may be on the other side of the country.
oh, okay, all right, sorry to hear that.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Was this your aunt?
No, it's, it was, an uncle once removed.
Okay, you got a complicated family. history.
Yeah.
I've got one of those
I
too,
don't know
so,
what they are.
yeah. Just that you gotta go. It's the wedding and funeral crowd,
My
right?
cousin's
Yeah.
father,
Oh, okay,
but I lived with them for a while during my youth, so.
all righty. The other thing on the planning board meeting, I think, is something we need to inform, town council, but it's a different town council that the application for the adventure zone has been resubmitted. Remember, we're in a butter and we retained a town council, which is different from our usual
Yes.
firm because of conflict of interest possibilities. I think we need to make them aware that it's been resubmitted and we may be needing probably will be needing his assistance in reviewing the application. Our one issue as an abutter is the impact of the parking plan on our easement with regard to the ice arena.
Mhm.
So I think if there is a discussion,
Mhm.
it seems to me we still have to maintain a recusal
Exactly,
of
Yes.
the select board ex officio. So
right.
I think that would be your main role, would be to recuse yourself in that discussion.
I can do that.
All right, but the zoning would be, I think
Yes.
especially the social zone, social district.
Social district.
I think I've seen some towns have voted no, some towns have voted yes, some towns have, they're a different type of town voting, but it was a little confusing. I wasn't getting it quite right maybe at the planning board and as it relates to our open container. So,
Chief Bear did the research and spoke to the liquor commission and got some answers on
okay,
how it would affect us with our current open container law.
right,
Basically, it nullifies our open container.
it does. I think that was the concern.
Yeah.
I couldn't answer that
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it overrides whatever you decide for. That would be a social district. It's has to follow the social district rules.
I see.
Right.
So it goes away, the open containers.
Open container
Goes
goes
away.
away because within the social district,
You can't.
they have to have certain cups that you can tell where it's coming
From,
from.
right, oh my,
Uh,
oh my,
so
this is, I thought this was gonna be a simplification.
No, no,
That's
I read
not-
through it too. It's very convoluted.
yes, it's very convoluted and basically Chief Fair's recommendation, and I would agree with it, is. I would almost wait to let the individual businesses that have an interest. In the private ownership. I don't think there's any public. Interest for the town. To create a district.
Right, not to
unless there's a
create, we have to,
specific-
right, decide whether to approve it though, right?
Yes, we would have to approve it unless there's specific. For example, if the resort wanted to create one for the ski area specifically. I think that would make sense because they have multiple bars, events, things that are going on at one time where people can then take alcohol and go wherever they want to on the mountain. But if you do someplace like Town Square, then it really
It's
impacts our
complicated,
open
right.
container.
Right,
What it does say up at the resort, it would then prevent people from bringing their alcohol from the parking lot onto the ski area. They have to purchase alcohol there in specific.
So the White Mountain National Forest is included in this since it was.
Well, it's anywhere in the
State?
state. The White National
Okay.
Forest has their own rules and whether
Yeah.
or not they allow it
Right,
would be
That
a
sounds like
question for,
lawyer's dream here.
yeah,
would be a question for them.
Right.
okay. And it, and they're,
Would override presumably town.
and they're decided on a case by case basis, so it's not a matter of a town saying we'll allow them in general and then you bring them to us, it's. As each is developed,
The statute says it has to be a designated
Created,
area.
created,
You have
right,
to,
create an
Okay.
and the
area.
language in order to adopt it is very specific. to bring a warrant article. So right now, we do not have a recommendation for you to include a
Okay.
warrant article for a social district unless the resort or any other business
Entity
owner
wishes to-
entity has a specific
Okay.
request. I would say
Let it lie for now.
leave it alone. Our
Okay.
open container will.
We have
do
something,
Business
right.
as usual. People can consume alcohol in public in Waterville Valley.
So we
As
do
it
not
currently
have
is.
to, it's not, we were
No.
trying to get. We were responding to a law that was passed to see if we needed to change.
Yes,
It doesn't nullify our current open container ordinance if we do not adopt it.
correct.
No, it does, oh,
If we do
No,
not adopt
if
it.
we do
you
not, right, if we do
right.
not.
If
adopt
So we
it,
don't
it
have to
does,
adopt
take,
yes.
it,
we don't have to
It
take
does.
action.
Wherever you
Right.
decide to adopt it.
It's,
it will
it's not like the
nullify
other
that.
zoning changes where we have no choice, or we're
Yeah.
automatically superseded. That's not the case here.
Which then would require us to amend the
Right.
open container law. To
Right.
reflect that.
So if you along with Wendy could attend discuss this with the board. This is one of the issues I think they'll be talking about. I don't know where on the agenda with SE Group, but
Mhm.
if you could
Yeah.
take charge of that. And yes, Margaret.
The disadvantage to business owners who are serving alcohol is that people are not allowed to take that alcohol out of the.
Correct, right.
Well,
Okay.
except, yeah,
Town can sell them alcohol.
Yeah.
And they can do that,
but I would,
But a bar or a restaurant
But I-
serving.
It
But I would
reverses
argue
the
it's-
role essentially of how it operates right now.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
You can buy alcohol in Jugtown and go outside and consume it. You cannot go into Valley Pub, Pizza Company and take their alcohol and go outside and consume it because they're a different license.
Right, and that's the way we are now.
Yes, if you do a social district, you cannot consume the alcohol from
Right.
Jugtown, but you can consume the alcohol from Pizza Company.
Right, that's what we thought would be complicated. We thought it both would be covered, so you guys,
No.
the police officer wouldn't have to ask someone, where did that cup of alcohol come from?
And it becomes an enforcement nightmare. at that
Right,
point.
exactly.
The only intent, and I don't know why they wrote it this way, but it has to have a cup with the name of the establishment.
I didn't know that.
non-glass.
I
Yes.
did know that, but I
And
didn't know they
must
had
be,
to have
and
the
must be
name.
over 21 and at least 12 size font.
Yeah.
Lordy.
Which is very specific.
This is New
so that-
Hampshire. I didn't think we did things
So
like
well, if
this.
you're drinking that, and then now.
Aren't we a
you're
live
drinking
free or
canned
die
beer,
state?
Yeah.
It's not in a cup, then it becomes an enforcement.
Well, I would have Vermont if I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Well, at least the font will be banned in the agenda.
And what the liquor commission told us too is we can't even enforce it because it's an administrative rule with the liquor commission.
Oh, really?
So
It's even
Oh.
crazier.
even if we saw someone breaking that, our police officers can't enforce it.
Okay,
Oh,
So,
it's
so
crazy.
you
All right,
have to call
well,
a liquor
again,
commissioner and. liquor
another
commissioners
zoning
these days are
change.
very few and far between.
yeah.
yeah.
So I would, my recommendation is let's status quo.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, I think that makes a lot of sense, and if you can relate all of this
Mhm.
at the meeting on next Thursday. And we'll go from there with that. Moving on, our next regular select board meeting is on the 19th of November here at 3 p.m. Although I think we have two special meetings coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. That will be a non-public.
Mhm.
There will be nothing in public unless someone brings it to us. And I think on Friday at 9:30, we're meeting a special select board meeting on that day. Okay, board concerns and directives, Dan or Wendy, is there something you'd like to get off your chest
Mm.
or bring up?
Oh, I did talk to the Black Bear Lodge Board as requested last time.
Yes.
In relation to Steve Canter's complaints.
This is
I-
noise and stuff for
The noise for the
the
hockey,
hockey teams.
yes,
right,
and
at the hotel.
I
and the
guess
lodge.
he's on the other board from the one, I get confused with the condo hotels because there's the HOA board and then
Right.
the LLC board. And I guess he's on one the other board than I talked to, but they were quite firm that they do have procedures and they did not need assistance.
Oh, okay,
With anything. So
okay,
it was a kind of a non-event.
okay.
That was that.
Anything else in your other hats? Municipal waste, solid, I should say, comma, solid.
W will be meeting next. I'm losing track of my weeks. And a Tuesday coming up, the 18th. Thank you. Yes, 18th.
Okay. Dan, did you have anything? you'd like to
I have
bring?
one question for Dave. I saw a comment, I think, in your report that said something about shutdown of the Black Bear Pool, a DE, emergency DES shutdown
Yep.
of their pool. What's that all about?
There
If you can-
was the DES inspector, paid a visit, to their facility and found that their, sanitation, the system that's, supposed to,
Their filter
disinfect the
and pump?
pool
Yeah,
was not operating.
Oh.
It wasn't working and they were manually just putting pellets in there. And
oh,
that's a no-no for a public pool, so they did an emergency shutdown. And
Okay.
said you can't open it until it gets fixed. So we were just
Okay.
notified as a courtesy as the health officer.
Right.
yeah,
We're notified. Sometimes if there's an issue with a pool, we will act as liaisons for the state. And look at the documentation. They have clear records of how they are supposed to maintain the pool on a regular basis, daily basis. And,
right.
you know, be fact finders and that sort of thing for them. But they will sometimes come up and do their own inspections. And so was the product of one of those.
Okay,
And
thank you.
they're responsible for reopening it. It doesn't fall on your
It doesn't
department.
fall on us.
Okay.
It's the burden's on them to prove that they're back up and running. They will then re-inspect it when they do this. We don't see those very often.
Hmm.
But
In this case, we did.
in this case, we did.
Okay.
Hmm.
Great.
Okay.
Anything else, Dan?
No, thank you.
Okay, I had, I'll go through them quickly. Just a reminder that Veterans Day is coming up. It's is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday this year. And this is always one of those federal holidays where we sometimes catch construction companies short because it's not always recognized as a federal holiday. It's not, excuse me, generally recognized as a federal holiday. And if anybody, I'm putting the word out, I don't know if anybody from any construction companies or property managers are listening to this, but you do need to get permission from the board. I'm not sure how you're going to do it because our next meeting is on the 19th. But we are meeting tomorrow and Friday. If you're looking to do outdoor work, you will run afoul of our noise ordinance if it's construction related because it is a federal holiday.
Do we need to preemptively allow the Golden Eagle Lodge work? I don't know how noisy it will be digging
So,
a post.
The
And
town,
It's not technically a town project. We are reimbursing our half of it.
right, so
Um,
we can, I think with the town involvement, I think we can go ahead and approve that. Do we do a form on that, chief? Do you remember? I don't think we do. I think it just comes, there's a request by a company to the board. So I think, if you want to make the motion to, if they are using Tuesday, the 11th,
That's only if they're gonna be creating noise.
noise
Yeah,
outside and
yeah,
someone
yeah.
complains.
That's only, it
So,
doesn't prohibit construction. but
no,
if
it's
gonna create-
noise that somebody complains about.
I don't think I can't imagine it'll be a lot of noise digging post holes
No,
but just.
Well, they might be cutting posts.
but why don't we just go
They're
ahead
4x4s.
and just
Well, they
take,
use a piece of equipment to dig the holes, they'll have the piece of equipment.
all right,
making
well then
the
let's go
hole.
ahead and just,
Okay.
do you want to make a motion?
I'll
to-
make,
This is a,
do
this
you
is,
know who Harry's contracted with to? Well, so we'll just make a motion to allow the work to proceed at the Golden Eagle
at a
Lodge.
joint Golden Eagle
Yeah.
town project to install the handrails
Exactly.
on
the
that
path.
walkway between the Golden Eagle Lodge and the bridge town square. I will second that.
I thought you made it.
Oh, okay, then you can second it. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. But,
I
yeah,
can just add something, that's also the day that the work is supposed to begin at the base lodge. I don't know if that falls into the same.
I don't think no, because I don't think we're gonna get a noise complaint
Fair enough, just in case.
there, but thank you.
Yeah,
They're gonna be boring, so it's gonna be.
it'll be loud.
It might hear it in town.
Noise across
Oh, sure, we're a
the
bowl.
valley.
I
Yeah,
just wanted to mention. Like,
Okay,
that
no,
doesn't
thank
have
you.
Technically town.
that is town, so it doesn't, we can ignore our ordinance in that regard. Chief, you had a point, or you're just
Nope.
stretching?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if there's anybody else out there who's, I just, we don't need the extra aggravation. Companies don't need the extra aggravation. If all they have to do is let us know. I have a question about town staff and uniforms. And this came up in a context, we don't have to go into it, but it just seems to me that town staff should always be identifiable as town staff. I don't know if that means wearing something with a town logo potentially, but they should not be wearing and this was the question that came up, they should not be wearing clothing that advertises a private business when they're working as town staff. Does that
Like-
make sense to you
Like
guys?
prominently logoed.
Yeah, I'm not
private
talking
business.
about the little Nike swoop,
Right, right.
I'm talking about, a business, potentially a local business or adjacent town business. So when we're in town staff, you shouldn't be advertising it if you're going up to a counter, for example, and the member of town staff is wearing.
Like if they worked at Dunkin' Donuts or something, they shouldn't have an old Dunkin' Donuts shirt on,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Probably not. I mean, I'm not looking for a uniform code. I'm just making the observation that it was brought to my attention that there was potentially a situation where this was a possibility, and it just seems to me, someone who's worked in government for many, many years, you can't.
Yeah,
Is this making sense to you guys?
totally makes
Is
sense.
this making sense to you, Steve, what I'm trying to say?
That makes sense. I don't know in our personnel policy verbatim what it says with
Yeah,
respect
check
to
that.
uniforms, but I can
Right.
absolutely check.
And I'm not saying that everybody in town office has to wear a uniform that says Waterville Valley on it or not. It's the other way. I'm reversing it, right? You should-
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But you guys are always exempt with all this stuff. You have your own rules and uniforms and whatnot that
State statute.
we'd be foolish to try to do anything.
Let me
about.
look what it says, Rich, and I can disseminate it amongst the department
Yeah.
heads for a reminder.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Right, it should be normal business attire anyway, depending upon what your business is.
Yeah,
Whether it's DPW, you have certain attire for certain situations, and whether it's administrative staff, that's all. You shouldn't be an advertising board for a private business.
agreed.
Agreed.
Great.
I'm not wearing Joe's Bar and Grill.
Good. All right. I'm gonna bug you again. I'm sorry, Chief. There's one more thing I'd like those folks over at the villas to take care of. There's still a pile of stones there, the stones that they use to make the cross-country trail. It's by that cross-country trail sign. It's on the corner across
the road.
across the road. If we can just have them finally, that's the last thing, I think, just spread those stones out. Again, that's a main road. People see that coming into town. But one last thing, they've been very good. I mean,
They've been pretty responsible.
they've been very
to that,
responsible.
so,
Yeah. So I'm sorry to keep having to go back to them.
No, it looks like the majority of their landscaping has been
Yeah.
completed, so.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
nice to
I'm
see a
sure there's
stone
a few
stairway. I
things.
mean, not a stone, but a stairway going in from a door,
No, yeah, no more door to
door
nowhere.
to nowhere, which
Still
looks
needs
kind of
railing,
fun.
but
Yeah, it's
there's-
getting there. That's
We're
good.
optimistic.
That's good to see. Which brings me to my last point, something I had talked to Mark about a long time ago, and we're raising every so often. I think a town doesn't look like a I don't know, a first-class resort town sometimes. And one of those things that strikes me is that our cross-country trail signs seem to be some of them seem to be in disrepair. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, for example, by the stones, there's a sign there, but all you see is a red plaque. It's on the other side, as if someone moved it. The sign should be flipped around, it should be straight. And he said he would talk to Tim about it, so I just find out what the status is. There are several other signs around town that would be nice to see fixed up. We spent a lot of money on way signs,
Sure.
and these are important, I think, too. It's for them. They never replaced the one that was the intersection of Village Trail and Mad River Trail. I guess the groomer. The people follow the groomer. There was one there that was knocked down and it was just leaning, and now it's been gone for months and months and months.
Yeah.
So if you can just talk to Tim when you get an opportunity about some of the more prominent signs
It's on my list.
around town. Thank you.
Mhm.
Just like to see them look nice. Golf course, a couple other places. That's all I have. Any correspondence?
No,
All right, if no one on the board has anything else,
No.
I take a motion to go in non-public. Chief, can you just hang around just for a couple minutes?
Sure.
Brooke as well, and Margaret, you had something you wanted to talk about in non-public. And everyone else can escape unless they think they need to talk to the board about something in non-public.
And for personnel matters?
Let's
Yes.
see, personnel matters and a legal matter.
Okay,
All right, so was that a motion to go into non-public?
I will make
Personnel.
that motion, yeah.
And legal,
I'll
and
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody, and let us know, Kristen, when we're off. Thank you, guys.